What's good, everyone? What is good? Welcome back to the channel with your school, of course, Machiavelli, and today we are back with another Sims 4 episode. Well, no, actually, it's a new season. It's a new season of the Sims 4 Live with the Pearsons, and today we're at the prologue. So pretty much this is going to be the backstory part. So when the first episode comes back, and I tell you guys to go watch the prologue, this is it. This is the prologue. Yes, I'm just going to be sitting here to explain what's going on, what has happened since we closed the chapter of Discovering University. I'm so excited to get into it. So before we start off, I was going to let you guys know that this is going to be definitely a storytelling based LP. Of course, that's why there's a prologue. So if you're not into that, I recommend you don't watch it. Also, this storyline is going to be a bit out of there, so you're going to want to like imagine, like your imagination needs to be up there, because this storyline is, I don't want to say it's very big on the imagination side, but you're going to need some imagination for the storyline. And yeah, and also if you're watching the Pearsons for the first time, this is generation number 6 going to number 7. Yes, that means there's like another 5 generations or 6 generations you need to go back and watch. If you guys don't want to, if you guys want to go back and watch it, that's totally fine. Go ahead. You don't need to, but if you guys want to, that's totally cool too. There's actually playlists on my playlist channel, so if you want to go look at them, they're there for you. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So I also want to say that I have a little bit of a speech thing. So if you hear me talking and I kind of stutter or I go over words or I mix up the words, I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on it. So yeah. So we're back with the Pearsons. Where we left off, Valen over here. Actually, let me explain to you who everyone is. This is Valen Pearson. This is Viviana Pearson. This is Camila. Her own name is Camila Emerson, but she married Zeandre Pearson, which you'll see in a second. So her name now is Camila Pearson. This is her husband, Zeandre Pearson. These are their kids, by the way. And this is their son, Vaughn Pearson, their daughter, Viola Pearson. They also have 2 more kids, Samira Pearson, which is only Zeandre's Pearson, only Zeandre's daughter. She's Camila's not her mother, Samira's mother. Again, if you guys want to go back, you have to go back to last season. Old synopsis: he got drunk one night, went out with his sister, ended up sleeping with his sister's best friend, and had a baby. There's way more to that. It's not that simple. There's way more to it, but that's pretty much the synopsis of it. And they had and then they have one more child, which his name is Viola. That's Viola. Verity. They have a younger daughter named Verity, which you won't see right now because she's not here. But yeah, so today we're just, again, it's just a prologue. We're talking about the storyline, so let's hop in straight to it. So again, now back to what I was saying. The last part we left off was when Valen had her baby boy, and gave him up for adoption. So after that happened, or should I say after that happened, about literally the day she gave birth, we'll say this happened. This is D-Day. D-Day is the day that the destruction happened. So before D-Day happened, Valen, of course, had her baby, and she didn't want her baby, so she went ahead and went to not a clinic, but went to like a center where they take care of their kids to help them when they're giving them up for adoption. Teenagers. And so Camila sent her daughter there because Camila realized that her daughter doesn't want the baby, and her being a problem solver, she went ahead and did that to solve the problem, especially solve the problem because she didn't want the baby at the time. So that happened, but the thing is, Camila did not tell anybody else. The only people that knows that she's pregnant are Valen, Camila, and her baby daddy named Nicholas. We'll talk about Nicholas in a second because he's a very important part of the story. So that happened, and so pretty much ever since she left, they pretty much came with the an excuse that she went to robotics camp or robotics school because she's good in robotics, and that's what they kind of went off for. And it kind of stuck with them for the whole time she was there, until the day she was born, till the day the baby was born, because that was D-Day, and D-Day means Day of Destruction. Well, D-Day, yeah, Day of Destruction, or Day D, because it's Day of Destruction. Anyways, D-Day means Day of Destruction. So, moving on. So what happened was, the day started off like any other day, but that day, so happenly, Verity was sick, and Camila couldn't stay there with Verity because she had a test to do. If he doesn't know, I forgot her occupation, but Camila is a professor at Oxford University, and Zeandre is a lawyer at a law firm in San Myshuno. So anyways, so Camila had a test to stay in, so she couldn't stay back with Verity. So Zeandre, since he had no cases that day, he decided to stay home and just do some paperwork and take care of her daughter. And so they kind of came with that agreement, and that pretty much was the start of their day. Everything was normal. Camila went to school, Camila went off to work, and your kids went off to school. Now we're gonna head over to Viviana. So Viviana actually has a boyfriend. Her boyfriend name is E. He has a bigger name than that, but I just call him E. So E. E and her have a very strange history. Pretty much, she kind of didn't like E at to begin with, but then she kind of fell for E. But E did not like her. E actually liked Valen, but Valen did like E at the begin with, because what happened was when she became grade 9, E was in grade 10 with Viviana. E sent a letter to Valen. Valen thought E was cute, so they started talking. Then Valen found out that Vivi liked E, but Valen didn't want, like, I guess this was a younger sister situation. She's like, oh, because my sister Alyssa like doesn't have to give him to her. So Valen started going after E seriously then, and her and E got together for a little bit. They kind of wooed and all that type of stuff. After that, Valen found out, and Valen and Vivi swarmed off of E because, you know, their sistership was better than their sister love was more stronger than their like for E. So she kind of, but the thing was, E still liked Valen more than Vivi. But when E tried to talk to Vivi, talk to Valen, Valen told E off, and so she kind of like said no to him, and I guess he felt some way about that. But Vivi still, for some reason, still liked E, so Vivi asked E out, and I guess since E couldn't have one sister, he decided to have the other, so they started dating secretly. Valen didn't even know that Vivi and E were dating, but she still doesn't even know that they were dating. But yeah, that's pretty much their history. Also, Valen is out good friends with E's sister, because they bet her, because I don't know what happened was E was bullying. What happened was she was getting oh no, not even bullied, but her name's being run through the mud, and Valen's type of person, if you talk about her, she's gonna beat your ass, not beat your ass, but she's gonna confront you about it, you know. And so she decided to confront them. The person who her name was, what was her name? Rebecca, which is actually Valen's friend. It's funny too, because her bullies were Vivi's friends. But anyways, so Rebecca decided to bring, of course, E's sister, and Rebecca threw her hands on Valen first, and Valen ended it. And since the other girl, which was E's sister, tried to jump in, Valen beat her up too. So they don't have a good relationship. The Goths and the Pearsons have a relationship, but yet Vivi still dating E. Anyways, so going on to back to the storyline. So Vivi went to school that day. Pretty much a normal day, walked to school until she walked into the front door. When she walked to the front doors, pretty much it was kind of weird because everyone was giving her these weird looks. Everyone was like talking, like, you know, people are whispering about you because they're literally looking at you and whispering. So it was a lot of that going on. She realized something was up, so she went over to her best friend Casey and Rebecca and asked them what's going on. And Casey kind of got that look, like that pity look on her face. And but Rebecca opened her mouth like, "Is your sister really pregnant? Like, really? Did the H really get pregnant?" The thing is, though, I don't understand is Vivi's still friends with Rebecca, even though she knows that Rebecca was bullying her sister. Does that make any sense? I don't know, but yeah. So Rebecca's like, "Is it really? Is the H word?" Because again, Rebecca and Valen don't like each other. So she's like, "Is the H word really pregnant? Is she really pregnant? Like, I can't believe it." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, I heard that your sister got knocked up on the first night she met somebody." Crazy. I expected nothing less from that. Like, literally, they're just going on her. And I was like, that can't be true. Who's telling you this? She's like, E's telling us. Like, E wouldn't. And so she went off to go find E. And E was pretty much in the cafeteria. Pretty much had a bunch of people around her. And she could hear him talking smack about her sister. About her sister. About how she got knocked out the first night. And how she kind of left to go have the baby. And how she's about to be a single mom. And all this. Like, all these rumors she started spreading. And so he went up to like, "Why are you spreading these rumors on my sister?" And he's like, "It's not a rumor." "What do you mean it's not a rumor?" It's like, "Yeah, I heard from my brother that, that he knocked your sister up, and now she's having his baby." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "He can't be." She's like, "Robotics." Like, "No, I know about it." And let's go back. Let's take a pause there on how he know about it in that situation, and we're gonna head back home. And it's going to pretty much explain that in a second. So, anyways, back to the household. So, like I said before, Camila went off to work because she had the test to do. And Xeandre's at home taking care of Verity. So, around 11 o'clock, 11 a.m., Zeandre hears a knock on the door. So he goes to check on the door, and it's a lawyer that he knows, but one of the lawyer that he has seen walk into his firm before. And so the whole lawyer hands him a paper and says, please sign the paper and then bring it back to the Goth household when you're done. He's like, Goth household? Why are we headed back to the Goth household? That makes no sense. And so literally right there and then he just opens it because he knows it's something important. So he opens it and reads it, and it pretty much is a whole form about how the Goths are cutting ties with Valen's child, and how they don't want nothing to do with it, and how they don't want in the years to come for their names to be popped up. There's a bunch of paperwork on cutting off ties, and Zeandre's like, what's going on? My daughter's like, wait, what? My daughter's not pregnant, you know, this is mistaken. My daughter's not pregnant. And so I'm literally, the thing that made him like realize that it was real was the pity. Have you ever seen a lawyer's pity face? He got one of that. Like, could you imagine one lawyer pitying another lawyer? Like, it was just a knock in the face. And so he's like, okay, thanks. So he shut the door pretty much, and he was just going through everything in his head. So there's no sense. He's at like robotics camp and everything. She's so confused. And Camila, just remember that Camila told him that she paid for it, and so he pretty much ran to their laptop, and he realized, because he's a lawyer, that he has to follow the money, because he said that she paid for it. So that means there's a money trail, which means that he must have paid for something. And so she went back on the bank books, and he went back on the bank books and look through, see where the money chunk of money go to. And what he found was that the money went to this care center or whatever. So he searched up the care center online and found out that it was a care center for teenagers that are having babies and that want to go for adoption. They go there to take care of them. And so he found that, his mouth dropped. Like, when I say, like, you know when your world just starts crumbling down? Like, his world just starts crumbling. He just felt, I don't know, there's all this like resentment and like, okay, there's a whole, okay, when it comes to Zeandre, I'm going to Zeandre real quick. When it comes to Zeandre and Camila, they have a very long history. There's a long history there. Like, they have broken up, got back together so many times, you know, and there's been so much bad going on. You can even say it's a toxic relationship a little bit, because there's so much bad in it, but they've always seemed to find the good in it. Like, the bad stating that one, he actually got into an argument, like, him and his mom ended off on terrible terms. Like, his mom died in an argument with Zeandre. He didn't talk to his mom, and she ended up passing away, and he kind of resented, he tried not to resent Camila for it, you know, thinking that I didn't talk to the woman that raised me. I left this world knowing that her son hates her because of, you know, this girl. And so he kind of always, whenever they were going through troubles, he always thought that I can't, like, you know, he felt like if he didn't make the relationship work, then he felt like he failed as my parents, you know, not being able to say bye to his mom because of a failed relationship. It's kind of hurt. So he always kind of kept that back in his head, but he didn't want to think about that. And so, like I said, there's all these bad or negative stuff that happened, and they all started rushing back and just thinking about how unfair it was that he went through his life accommodating himself for this girl, and she couldn't do the same for him, and all his anger boils over, and he just, like, you know when you're just angry and you're just not narrow-minded, but you just see red. He just saw red, and he wanted to hurt her, but, like, I don't know, it was just so weird. So anyways, he went ahead and picked up the phone and called his daughter, because, you know, he had to hear it from her, you know. Yeah, he has the proof and everything, but he needs to hear it from her. So he picks up the phone and he calls her, and she answers like, "Hey, Dad," and he's like, "Are you pregnant?" And she literally hangs up the phone, like, dead set. I'm being serious. She hung up the phone on him right then and there. She's like her heart dropped when he heard that "Are you pregnant" situation, like, because again, she's been doing so good for these months, just had the baby, you know, just had the baby, so she thinks she's free now. She can, all she needs is like a month or two, and then she can go back home. And when she heard him say that, "Are you pregnant?" she's like, "Oh no, no." And so she hung up the phone on him because she was panicking. So she went ahead and called her mom right away and her mom picked up, like, "Hey, honey, what's up?" And she's like, "Dad knows." It's like, "What do you mean? Dad knows that I'm pregnant?" And literally Camila's face went blank. She froze up. She's like, How? She was like, "I don't know. I hung up the phone on him." And she started panicking. Oh God. She started panicking, literally panicking. And she had to grab her keys. Literally in the middle of the test, she grabbed her keys and had to go home, had to run home. She was so near-minded, literally left the test room right there. and just ran home because she knows that Xeandre is gonna be pissed off. So she ran home. No, not ran home, but she got home, ran into the driveway. On the way home, she tried to call Xeandre's phone, but he wouldn't pick up. Almost got into a car accident to get home, but she got home. Ran up the driveway, ran inside the house, called out his name. It's like, Xeandre, are you here? Are you here? Are you here? He didn't answer. She was like literally panicking at this moment. Like, what's she gonna do? The way home, she's like again, problem solving, trying to figure out what she's gonna do, what she's gonna say to make this better, because she knows that he's gonna be mad. So anyway, she's gonna go upstairs and go check if he was in their bedroom. But on the corner of her eye, she saw that he was in the kitchen, on the kitchen table, sitting down. And so when she walked in, she saw that he was sitting there with a bottle of gin and 2 pieces of paper in his hands. And the first thing he said is, why didn't you tell me? Like, why didn't you tell me what was going on? Like, why did you lie to me, you know? And she like tried to like say, honey, I'm sorry, like I didn't know what to do. And she's like, how can you know what to do? And he just raised his voice, and like literally for an hour he just went in on her. Like he brought up everything, because again, he's been holding back his emotions because he's been trying to care. He doesn't want to, he feels like sometimes that if he went out and decided what he truly felt, like she would get pissed off and then they would break up, and he doesn't want that. Like I said, he's trying to fight for his marriage. He's trying to do whatever he can to make this marriage work, but he feels like he just gave so much, put so much into it, and he's felt like he's been living under this like this weight because of what he did when he was a kid, and that he has to be this perfect person right now and he can't mess up, and he feels like he just keeps on messing up and that he's the biggest problem. And then he's been trying and trying and trying, but the fact that she's been going through all this type of stuff, and you know, he's found out about everything. He found out about because there's a lot that she has done too. It's not even that the pregnancy thing. The kids have gotten detentions that she has signed off for. The kids have got, you know, letters that she signed for. The boyfriends, everything. He found out about everything. He called what's it called again? He looked at some security cameras too, just to check out, because he have security cameras, and he saw the times that the Camila caught the kid doing that, and then she talked about it and she never told him. He found about everything. The papers that he had right there are just like phone bills that the kids have gotten and who they've been talking to. Like he just had to catch up with everything that's going on, and so he just found out about everything that she hasn't been telling him about, and he just feels like she's been paying the parent by he feels like she's been paying the parent by herself, that he hasn't been included in everything, you know. And they're married, you know, they're his kids too, you know. He should have some type of say in raising them, and he realizes now, looking back now, he didn't have any say. Like, yeah, he could choose if they go on a trip or something, what type of dress they wear, like, you know, type of that, but he hasn't had any say, like, and like if they get attention or not, or what their grounding should be, like this or that. He had nothing. Like the only time he actually has any say in it is when he actually catches them themselves. Like she never tells them anything, and the fact that, and the thing is when he catches them, he goes ahead and tells her. He tells her, like, the amount of time he has been going through stuff, and he goes to her and they talk about it, but yet she didn't have the courage to do something to him. He was over it. He was so pissed off. He was so done with trying to put so much effort into a relationship that he's not getting anything back. Like, he felt like he was putting 100% and she was putting 50, and he was just done with it. And so he told her right there that he was done. Like, after he said his piece and talked about how he hated his mom because of you. He dissed his sister for you. Like, he did all this stuff for you and your happiness, but yet you didn't have the consideration to think of me and what I would feel like when I found out like this. Like, you didn't have the consideration to think, hey, maybe you should like talk to your father about this. Like, there's no like trust there. You didn't trust me with the information, you know. And he was just so angry. He was so pissed off, like the point when he started crying. He was so mad. He was so frustrated, you know. And he said he was done. He told her he was done. He's like, he's done with her. Like, he can't. Like he's been trying, and this was it. He's done. Like, the love he has for her is not there as it used to be, and he doesn't love her that much like anymore, and he needs some space and he needs some time, and she had her time and she needs his time, you know. And so he left. Literally went upstairs and packed the bag, and while he was packing the bag, Camila was crying her eyes out, telling him to stay and that she was sorry. And he's like, I'm done with you. Like, I'm done. Like, I need my space. Like, leave me alone right now. Like, leave me alone. And she like left the room and went into like the office downstairs and started bawling her eyes out. Literally bawling her eyes out. It was bad. And then literally after that, like, but anyways, back onto back onto the stool side. So now you guys know about how Xeandre found out. We're gonna tell you how we're gonna back to like how Vivi found out. So pretty much, it wasn't even how E told her that her brother told her. No, E didn't tell her. what happened was that morning he went downstairs and his parents were talking to that lawyer about the whole situation, and he overheard everything. And when he overheard everything, of course, since he has a grudge for Valen, he had to go ahead and tell the whole school about what was going on, because people had this like, oh my god, Valen's a smart ass, not smart ass, but Valen's so smart, she's off at this very prestige robotics school. Like, they were just holding her on this high pedestal, and he wanted to knock her down 55 inches. So he went ahead and told everyone what was going on, and he felt like he was empowered. And to make it even worse, he felt like his mission was accomplished. I'm not saying he was using Vivi, but he definitely kind of used Vivi in a sense that he kind of was hoping that Valen would one day find out and feel some type of way, but he doesn't really need Vivi anymore, because Valen just created her own demise. This is way better than what he thought to get back at Vivi. And so he went ahead, literally right then and then, broke up with Vivi in front of everybody. He said, I was done with you. I can't date anybody who's related to that girl. Like, I'm done. Sorry. Deuces. And walked out. And she started crying. Vivi started bawling her eyes, like, how could you do that? Like, I love you. You love me. He's like, I don't love you. You were fun. It was fun. Like, it was good. It was fun. But that's pretty much what it was. It was fun. I appreciate it. Like, he literally started, like, you know that, like, how there's a trait like called like diss or whatever woohoo skills. He started dissing her woohoo skills. Like, yeah, he could have done it better on this. You know, your H game wasn't that strong, but it's okay. You can work. There's other guys here you can work on and get help. Like, he literally crucified Vivi and embarrassed the heck out of her in front of everybody. And Vivi still wanted that guy back. She's like, you can't do this. And like, I love you. You can't do this. Like, I know you love me too, and we can get over this. Like, she means nothing to this relationship. Like, Vivi was hysterical at this point. And when it comes to the other kids, like, surprisingly, Viola didn't get that bad. Like, Viola grew up with bullies. She actually still is getting bullied to this day. And the people who are actually, it's kind of weird, because the people, I don't know why it is, but everyone's best friends are just bullying each other. Because the people who are friends with Valen are bullying Viola. Well, no, one. There's a girl named Liberty. Growing up, Liberty and Viola just never were cool. And I guess since Liberty and Valen were they were friends, and Valen was popular, Liberty got popular too. So Liberty started looking down on Viola. But I guess, of course, Valen didn't know about the situation. That's the difference, though. Valen didn't know about their bullying, but Vivi knows about her friends bullying Valen. Do you see how messed up that is? But anyways, so yeah, so Viola actually didn't get that hard that day. It was mainly Vivi that got it that day. I think it was Vivi. I guess everyone just started, like, I don't know, turning on Vivi, and Viola kind of was there to help her sister out. Even though Viola was the type of girl that sits into the shadows and minds her business, she was there for her sister, you know? She has a sister to lean on, and she invited her sister to eat with her at lunch. And Vivi doesn't eat at lunch, sadly. It hurts my heart, but she actually eats in the toilet, like by her toilet, by herself. But today she actually sat with her sister, just, you know, to be comforting, if that makes any sense, about the situation. So that happens to her. Vaughn's actually on the basketball team, so I guess they kind of like bullied him a little bit. But Vaughn is very, like, it's very hard to intimidate this guy. Like, he's not saying he takes everything as a joke, but you intimidate him, like, he's just gonna come back harder. Like, honestly, Vaughn's a badass. He really is. I love Vaughn. He's the meaning of a badass, dead set. And so they try to, like, you know, make him feel small on the basketball court, but he honestly, even though he's a junior, he's like one of the best players on the team. So like, they tried to intimidate him off the court, and he totally intimidated them on the court. So those two handled the situation fine. It was just Vivi that kind of had a terrible day. And so coming home, they all came home, they kind of all went to their mom and asked their mom about the situation. And of course, Camila was out of it, but she sat her kids down and told them about the situation, about what happened with Valen. Vivi had a little spaz attack and started weighing in on her mom about how you didn't tell us, and how you couldn't raise her well. Camila literally slapped her daughter, like, how dare you talk to me like that, you know, such a situation. And Valen's like, I'm done, like, Mom, how could you? And then she kind of ran upstairs. And it was hard, like, literally. And then that pretty much happened for a week. Like, Vivi, like, for a week, Camila just stayed at home. Like, her workplace started to call her, she wouldn't answer the phone. She just felt like it was a time when she, like, it reminded her of the time when she lost her mom. how she just shut down. She just shut down. It was bad. Like her workplace was calling her, she wasn't picking up. Her kids tried to talk to her, they wouldn't talk to her. Like all she did was give them money to buy food, like fast food, because she just didn't have the energy to get out of bed. She was sulking, and then a week after that, she said, "No, I can't do this. I gotta be a problem solver." So to make it even worse, she started stalking Ziandre. Literally, Camila is the meaning of she won't quit unless she has to, and she didn't quit. Like she followed him to work, she went to his workplace to try to talk to him, like to communicate with him, like try to get him not to like get this divorce, because he actually what happened was the reason why she stopped sulking, and the reason why she realized that she had to get this back is because a lawyer, wasn't him, because he sent like one of his juniors at his office to come to his house to deliver papers, and they were divorce papers. And she realized, nah, I have to get this man back. I love him. We are a family. I need to get him back. And so she kind of got herself back together, kind of went to his office and tried to get to him. Like literally for a week, stood outside of his office trying to talk to the guy, and he would avoid or take the back routes, take whatever he has to do to get out of, like, to not talk to her, to the point where his law firm security had to kick her out. Like, could you imagine having to kick out your boss's wife? It was something. Like, she was sporadic. She was crying in the lobby. She was a mess. Like, when I say she was a mess trying to get her family back. And it got to the point where she was actually, like, she got fired. Like, literally, her boss literally came to her house and tried to talk to her and told her that they had to let her go, that she wasn't picking up the phone, they had to keep it going, she wasn't communicating, and they had to let her go. And I think after she got that, she kind of realized that her life was falling apart. You know, you hit rock bottom and you realize you're at rock bottom and you don't know how to get out. She like, the thing is though, like I said, she's been relying on her problem-solving skills to get out of situations since she was a kid, and I guess she realized that her problem-solving skills has got her into this big hole, and she just she doesn't want to solve problems anymore. You know, she's just tired of it. And I think what really what got her, woke her up from this quote-unquote nightmare that happened was that Ziandre, I don't know how he did this or how he said he was gonna do it, but he said, I guess he came home one day and saw the house a mess and that she was a mess, and he threatened her that she was gonna take away the kids. He said that he's gonna assign full custody, and she's like, "You can't do that. These are my kids." He's like, "Yeah, they're my kids too, and if you can't take care of them, you have no job. The house is a mess. You know, if you can't take care of them, I'm gonna fight for full custody, you know?" And he said, "You don't want to fight me on that." And she's like, "You are not gonna do that to me. You cannot." And she got so angry. "You're really gonna like the one thing you can do, like, yeah, she loves him, she'll forever love him, but the fact that he wants to take away full custody, like take away her kids from him, that hurt." Like, that's when I think that's when she like woke up and realized that it was done. The relationship is over. Like, it's over. There's no going back. The fact that to have no love, to take away the kids from her mom, and he knows that she's a damn good mom. She knows that. Yeah, she made mistakes. Yeah, she should have included him, but she's a damn good mother. And the fact that he would go ahead and say he's gonna take away full custody, she was hurt. Like, that hurt her. And I feel like ever since that time, and I think that's what flipped the switch for her. That flipped the switch, and she realized that she needs to do better. That she needs to clean herself up and get her life back together. So she did. She went ahead, took a shower, went back to her office, sat there and begged, talked to the principal, talked to her boss, and begged for a job back. And she magically did, but it wasn't at a high price. She had to go down because, again, she lost her job. So they gave her back her job, but it wasn't at the price point or the prestige that she was before. But she was okay with that. She was going to work her way back up because she needs to get her kids back in her life. Again, the bills are coming in, and she neglected them for so long, and the fact that he's not helping her, you know, it's a lot on her. And so she got her life back together. Like, a week after that, after a week after getting her job back and getting back to work and getting cleaned up a little bit, her and Ziandre had a sit down, you know? At this time, Camilla's baby, at Ziandre's time, Valen's baby has been had, and she's on her last few weeks of being at the place, and then she'll be coming home. And so at that time, the dreadful talk happened between Ziandre and Camilla. Dreadful talk. It needs to happen. He came over to the house. The kids actually went out. She paid money. She took the kids, told to take the kids out to go wherever they want to go, on them, but because she knew Ziandre's coming home and they're gonna have to talk. So Nardi came, sat down. She even got a glass of wine out because even though she doesn't drink, she knew she was gonna need it. So they sat down, had the wine, and they had the talk. They talked about the situation, talked about what they're gonna do moving forward, and what's gonna happen, and they talked it over. So they're getting divorced. It is happening. The divorce is happening. It is on. He signed the paper. She's done the papers right now. The divorce is being filed, and she didn't want to be a messy file. She didn't want to be messy because if they went to court about anything, then that's one of the things she didn't want is go to court. She didn't want to go to court for this divorce. Mainly because he's a lawyer. He's a damn good lawyer, and she knew that she's gonna need a lot to make him win, to make herself win. So the one thing she didn't want was to take him to court or get anything to court. So she agreed, and she tried to coerce him to agree that they were going to split everything 50-50, and the house included, and their savings 50-50. And he agreed to that. I guess he had that much love left, and he said, okay, that's fine, we'll flip 50-50. But the house situation was either two things. They have three options for housing. They either, actually, I'll talk about the housing a little bit later. But yeah, they agreed on the housing situation. They agreed that they were going to let the kids choose. Like, he wanted to go for full custody, and she said, let the kids choose. Like, if the kids are old enough to know where they want to stay in life, if they want to go with you, excuse me, if they want to live with you, they can live. Ooh, sorry about that. If they choose they want to live with you, they can live with you. If they choose to live with me, they'll live with me. Oh, geez, my nose. Yeah, they'll live with me. And he magically agreed to that too. And so they kind of left that not burden, but they left that choice up to the kids to choose. And yeah, and so pretty much the housing agreement was he was going to live there, and she was going to maintain half of the equity out of the house. So he was pretty much going to buy her out of the house, because it's either, the choices were either one, she stays and she buys him out, which she can't afford, especially with her paycheck. She can't afford one, the bills, and she cannot afford to maintain the house and pay him maintain the house, and 3, pay him out the house. So that was off the deal. 2, she buys the house. 2 is they sell the house, which of course Camille didn't want, because that was their house. Whether they're broken up, that's their kids' house. They grew up here. Their bedrooms were here. They renovated the house just like for their kids. This is their kids' house. They don't want the relationship breaking up to destroy that. And so that was off the table too, which left the last idea, which was that he keeps the house and he buys her out, which she agreed to, because again, it was the best way for them to, one, keep the house, and 2, for them, the main one was just for them to keep the house, so for the kids. So that was the best option, so they chose that option. So she went ahead while the kids were out. She packed all her things that she needed, and she went ahead and went to go live with her brother. She called her brother at that time and told her brother the situation, and he said, yeah, you can go ahead and come over and stay with me for as long as you need to. And so she went ahead and moved out that night. She packed herself in, and then the next day she came back and told the kids the situation, what's going on, and the kids understood. It's kind of sad because Vivi was kind of happy. I'm telling you, Vivi's just a weird kid. Vivi was kind of happy that her mom was moving out. Why? I don't know, but she kind of was. But yeah, and that's pretty much where we are right now. We're pretty much with Camille living with your brother. Valen literally just moved back home, and I'll explain her situation on episode 1. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, whew, that was a lot of talking, wasn't that? That was a lot. But yeah, I want to go ahead and give a thank you to y'all so much. I'm just gonna run you guys through all the characters again. I just want to give you guys a big thank you so much for watching this. Again, if you guys sit here and watched it and watched the whole thing, hopefully it made sense. Hope you guys understand what happened. Hope you guys understand the situation, everything. I really appreciate it. And yeah, the next part you guys will see will be episode number 1. Hope you enjoyed the prologue. Bye guys. See you later then.